Bitcoin's finally doing its job that it advertises as the digital gold, that when everything's going to shits, that when one's panicking, US dollar is tanking. Treasury bonds are tanking. Even now, people should be buying treasury bonds, but people are not. People are running to the safety of gold. Gold is making new all-time high, going parabolic, and even stocks are down. Today, I believe, is one of the first days where Bitcoin is finally doing its job as the digital gold. And it's basically trying to catch up to that moving gold, as I told you guys a few weeks ago. But can we trust this move? Let me show you with facts. This is just not just opinion. Let me show you with facts if this move in Bitcoin can be trusted or not. This orange line is Bitcoin. This is since January 1st this year. This blue line is something they made up by putting 25% gold and 100% NASDAQ. So they put those two things together. They said, well, that's created an index that copies the move of the NASDAQ, and we're putting extra 25% gold movement, and they got this blue line. And look how similar Bitcoin's move is to that. So what does that tell us? Let me just quickly explain. This chart was done by obviously someone working on Wall Street who's very bad with math. What it actually means is basically in that portfolio, it's 4 parts NASDAQ and 1 part gold. The ratio is 1:4. So rather than say 100%, 25%, why don't you just say your investment portfolio is 80% NASDAQ and 20% gold, then you will achieve this blue line since the opening of this year, since the start of this year. That's what your portfolio will look like. And Bitcoin has followed relatively well. When I say Bitcoin sometimes behaves like the stock market and sometimes it follows gold, then people get confused and people think, well, then that means, so Pablo is saying sometimes gold, sometimes NASDAQ. That's how Bitcoin moves. So it's 50-50 then. No, we need to be more scientific than that. That chart is showing us that Bitcoin moves like an asset that is 80% NASDAQ and 20% gold. That's why I've been warning about Bitcoin and how it would probably not protect your assets in a bear market. Gold would have to, if the NASDAQ goes down 50%, then gold as a 20% asset would have to go up something like 200%. That's what that portfolio is telling us. So coming back to the Bitcoin situation today, then NASDAQ better not go down more. If NASDAQ does a double bottom, which I think it could, and then bounce, then I think Bitcoin pulls back and then bounce. We have this massive test coming up at 91.7K area. Bitcoin needs to close a couple of times above 92K in order to confirm its strength, and then above 100K we go. And then obviously 109K.